session, you can go back and watch from there. My name is Amy Tessitore, and I'm the Senior Manager of Adoption and Education Services at OpenLMS. My team oversees helping clients leverage what they need to out of the system. So, helping people get familiar with all of the different tools that your LMS has and helping you to use them to meet your institutional goals. We are focusing on what is new in the 4.0 update. There has been a lot of chatter about 4.0. Over the past year and even longer. So Moodle version 4.0 came out this past spring, and we are upgrading what we call our SaaS clients. So they are on a product called OpenLMS EDU. They would be, if you are a SaaS client, you were a historic Moodle Rooms or OpenLMS client, or you were a newer client. We also have clients who are on a product called Managed Hosting, and those would be all of our historic eThink clients. And then we have some clients on other things like OpenLMS Work, which is our corporate product. And 4.0 doesn't actually apply to any of our Totara clients, so we don't have to worry about that. I'm going to start by sharing screen, and we'll talk a little bit about the course and the navigation and basically everything you need to know about 4.0. So for those of you who are on that SaaS offering, you have the option to choose to upgrade on December 28th or opt out and upgrade in July. So that decision needed to be made already, but we're here kind of showing you what you're going to see. So probably the first thing you noticed when you logged in here on the OpenLMS Academy site is it looks quite different. So it looks quite a bit different if you are using Boost or Classic. If you are someone who uses the Snap theme, you actually will not see any changes to any of this. Your login page, your landing pages, the course page itself, those will all look exactly as they always have. So the development here went into the individual themes. And the Boost and Classic themes are two themes that are developed and maintained by Moodle HQ, so the main Moodle headquarters. The Snap theme is one that we maintain and develop, and there are many others out there, and we'll talk a little bit about that here. But when I log in, I land on Site Home here at the Academy, and it looks like this. The first thing you'll probably notice is we have a lot more real estate in the center. So where our content is, we have lots of room here. So our content can scroll nicely across the screen in a horizontal fashion, as opposed to being kind of crunched up like it was in Boost in older versions of Moodle. We're going to show two sites, and this is why. This is the home setting on another site that we have, also using also on 4.0 using the Boost theme. The Academy site is using a theme called Learn R or Learner. It's the word learn with a capital R at the end. It is the theme that is going to replace Fordson. So if you have been using the Fordson theme, the Learner theme will be one of the ones that you can go to. And the reason that we use that is because we have a course catalog. Our catalog is specific to our IntelliCart e-commerce solution. And so because we had a very specific way we wanted this to lay out, we chose the Learner theme. However, what you'll notice is that here on the straight Boost theme, we still see a lot of the same things. The big difference here is you don't see my catalog. So here my catalog is front and center on the dashboard. I still have that ability to customize the dashboard as a user. So I, as a user, could rearrange my dashboard if I wanted to. You as the admin have the opportunity to set that default dashboard and push that out. So that's what it looks like to everyone unless they change it. So as I mentioned, I have my catalog up here. But if I scroll down, what I have next is the timeline block and the calendar block. Now, these have been in Boost for a while, not necessarily arranged this way on the dashboard, though. So now they take front and center. If you have never added like other things to your dashboard, these will be the two things there. If you had something like My Courses previously, that'll still be there. I have my course overview block on the dashboard over here, but I'll tell you why we don't actually need that anymore in a few minutes. But here's timeline, and this is what timeline looks like if you have an assignment or an activity coming up with a due date associated with it. So here's my timeline. I can see that on Monday, I have the Unit 2 assignment due in my English 101 course. I see the exact time it's due all the way to the left. These are the new icons that are shipping with Moodle 4.0. So activities and resources get a new icon. I can see what the name of the assignment is, and I can actually just click right over here to add submission. So if I click on the title, I'm going to go to the assignment. And if I click add submission, I'm going to go right into this course, the place where I can add my submission. This is actually a timed assignment, and we will talk more about that later on in the course. But you'll see I have this countdown, this clock counting down over here, and that is because in this assignment, I actually only have 60 minutes to complete it. That is a cool new feature. Again, we'll talk about that soon. But on my dashboard, I can have that timeline block. I can have my course overview like I always did in the calendar. Big things to know about the calendar. So I'm going to scroll down here and look. Takes up way more space, much easier to look at and to use. Adding a new event is very easy now. I can just click this button over here to add a new event. So that prominent button that says new event, or I can actually just click right on the date. And now I can add my event. So here we'll say we have our what's new webinar. There it is. And it's today, started at 1 p.m. And I'm going to make that it's a course event. And if I choose course, I now can choose from the dropdown as the admin for which course it's associated with. And if you're a teacher and you're adding something and you choose course here from the front page, you'll be able to choose from the courses that you're enrolled in so that you're the teacher in. If I'm a student, I'll have that option of creating user events. So I can create things on my Moodle calendar. Clicking show more, I can actually give a description. I can put a location in. So I could put like my Zoom meeting link in here. Let's do that. And I can say what the duration is. So how long does this session last? And this one is actually timed. So, it's not just an open session that's going to last all day. So there we go. I can also put the duration in minutes. So I could have ticked here and done 45 minutes instead. I can repeat this event. So I could repeat this one. And I'm going to repeat weekly and create 3 total events for this. Now, if I click save, look, every week for 3 weeks, there's my what's new. Now, let's say I created that and I was like, oh no, I put it on Thursday. And hypothetically, let's say our webinar was on Wednesday. I can now just click and drag. And if this is going to update the due date, it's just going to move it for me. It'll update the due date for the students, see the updated date on their timeline. If they have if it's an assigned activity, it'll be there on their timeline. But I can now rearrange items on my calendar by click and drag. So this is a nice feature because in the course, if I've created activities and then I realized, oh, I put it at 11:59 on Thursday and it was really due on Friday, I can just click and drag. The dates will get updated inside the activity and on the calendar and in the timeline block for learners. It doesn't always happen like instantaneously. There's a little task that runs in the back, so it might take 2 or 3 seconds before you see it update everywhere, but that is an option there. Additionally, with the calendar, we can actually look at the full calendar, which will redirect us to a page where the only thing here is the calendar. So if we want to start populating things for the semester, we can start doing that here pretty easily. This is a much easier to use interface than it has been in the past. Previously, we used to click like the month, and then I have to go in and add the new event. But now we can add the new event right here, either by clicking that button or clicking on a date. We can also filter our calendar. So I can look by month, day, it's going to look like this, or upcoming events. And I can see them in a list format, or I can put them back to month and see them in a calendar layout. I can look at all courses or just certain courses. So if some of my courses have, if I just want to see like, what do I have? I think I have something due in this other course. I could filter by that course and it would show up, I'd see what I have due. And so there we are, I have my month. All right, so I'm just going to refresh. There's all my stuff again. And that was my dashboard. So the dashboard does get a bit of a makeover. Probably the thing you're going to notice most, and you might already be seeing it, is I don't have my blocks off here to the right. And my navigation drawer is completely absent right now on the left. And that's because our navigation drawer is no more. We don't have a navigation drawer now. In courses, you will have a drawer that's called Course Index, but out in any area outside of a course, you will not have the navigation drawer. But what you do have now is this static banner at the very top in the header that has your home, dashboard, my courses, site admin. And because I have IntelliCart and I'm an admin there, I have that link. You can still add other links here, but when we were on this page, the thing that we had really was home, dashboard used to be called site home, and it's now called home and dashboard, my courses, and site admin. And those things were in the nav drawer. Now they're always up here, and they're up here whether you are inside or outside of a course. Now, you heard me mention that over here on this site, we have on the dashboard the My Courses or our My Course Overview block. This is courses that I'm currently enrolled in. And here's why we don't actually need that anymore. We now have a My Courses tab, and you can direct your learners to your users to land on the My Courses tab as soon as they log in. There have been, for years, people have asked, is there a way to have to require fewer clicks for someone to get to their course? Meaning, like, I want them to log in and the course is right there. I don't want them to scroll at all. I just want them to be able to click and enter their courses. And that is what the My Courses tab accomplishes. So if when I log in, I land on My Courses, right now I have mine set to show all courses. But if I just showed, courses that had run in the past, I can filter and look at those. I can look at courses that are in progress. I can also star certain courses and just look at my starred courses. I liked this when I was teaching and I had, multiple sections, or I've been teaching for many years and I had a lot of courses under my all filter. I would star my courses I was in now, especially if I wasn't using start and end dates, and I could see them here. But we do still have all of that ability to filter. We can search, we can sort by last access, and we can arrange what this looks like. So here we have card. Over here, we also have card. You'll notice these cards look a little bit different than the ones over here. Just a little. These have a little more rounding to the edges, and it's very hard to see on the screen share, but they actually have like a little type of a special border on them. And this is making use of a Boost preset that we have. So we have built 2 Boost CSS presets that you can use and put on your site. And all you do is put in your icons. So you'll upload those like you normally would, your images, and then you can put in what your brand colors are. And then that will take in right into the preset. And what the preset does is give you some of this layout. So in this particular preset, we've preset the height of the header at the top. We have changed the font type, and we've updated what these cards look like. So the cards look a little bit different. As I mentioned, I can look in card view, but I can also on my courses tab look in list view. One of the improvements here is that the course images now they're more responsive, so they actually come into a nicer size. Previously, they might be big or small or not all the same size, but now they're consistent throughout. Additionally, you'll see like everything kind of lays in a little bar here, so there's some separation. If I do that over here, it looks a little bit different, just a different preset in the theme. So here I have lines that divide, but here I have like kind of an outline. I can also look in summary view, and summary is going to give me, like list, the name of the course. It's going to try to put the course image in there, and then the whole course description goes in there. This list is fine unless you have something like this English course where we have a huge course description. So then it doesn't really lay out in a way that's very aesthetically pleasing for our learners. You'll see that here as well in summary because I have long course descriptions here. But I think card or list are probably the 2 most common that people use. So we will switch back out to those. And you can see that. So if we have our users landing right on their My Courses tab, it's pretty easy then for them to just click and enter a course. So if I were to click and enter into here, there's my course. Now, one of the things I mentioned was that we weren't seeing our blocks anywhere. So on the My Courses page, you don't have blocks at all. But on the dashboard and home, make it to dashboard. I've added some blocks to this dashboard, and they're actually stored in this little block drawer over here on the right. So I have my completion progress block. I have my recently accessed items. I can add more things. Favorite thing that I've seen so far about the block drawer is it scrolls independently of the rest of the screen. This is super helpful over in a course where I might have lots of blocks and I need to scroll down to one, and I don't want the whole course to move. So I really like this about the blocks drawer. The blocks drawer can be stowed by clicking the X, and then that expands the central content area. You also have the option for a blocks curtain that can come down from the top. So if we go into, let's get into a course. If we wanted to add some blocks up in the curtain here, we could absolutely do that. Um, it's just kind of a preference. Again, here you're seeing like a little background color to our blocks drawer. That is a result of the presets that we have in place. I'm going to close that curtain, and here we have landed in our course. So, a couple of things about our course since we're in here now. This course just started this week. When you complete, you will earn this badge right here. First thing, course communication. This is where we will make course announcements. Raise your hand. We already have 4 in there. I have to go in and make sure I've answered them all. But the raise your hand form is where you can ask questions of us. So let's see what's in here. It looks like there were some questions about webinar access and times. I will make sure that I have appropriately updated all of our pages for that. And the access is through this Google Meet. We will use the same link each week, so just hang on to it. But I'll also make sure that I've updated all of our webinar connection information, which is right in here. And hopefully this takes you to where you need to be. We have 3 options per week for this particular course. We have Tuesdays at 9:00 a.m. Eastern U.S. time, Thursdays at 1 p.m. Eastern U.S. time, which is the one we're on now, and then Thursday nights at 9:30 p.m. Eastern U.S. time, which is somewhere around noon, I believe. Noon or 12:30 Melbourne time. So because we have people globally taking the course, we tried to hit everybody's needs with these webinar times. You can attend whichever one works best for you. So, and that may be different from week to week. So definitely feel free to join us. As I mentioned, we do record all of these webinars, and we will post them down here in our webinar recordings book. So in this book, we have the kickoff webinar. So I'll be posting the links here to both of all 3 of the webinar recordings. Sometimes we switch this out and we actually just put in a link to the playlist. So we do create a playlist for this and put the link in where you can watch the videos, but I'll make sure that we have everything kind of nicely arranged in here, and we'll get those videos up and in there for you. Navigating back out to the course, I'm going to use this breadcrumb trail here. Because I'm in a book, you'll see I have the table of contents displayed over there. I close that out, follow my breadcrumb trail, and come right back out to the course. Under this area right here, where you can create your own practice course, you can click a button here and you can request a practice course. So you will have a course here on this 4.0 site where you can go in, try out the new features, navigate around. We've had several people in the first 2 sections of this course ask if it was okay if they recorded some videos about like to make resources or took screenshots. That is absolutely okay. So if you're building out some resources and you want to be able to use your Sandbox course or the course here for that, you can absolutely do that. Down below, things to know about themes. So in here, we have a book. I have one more video I am going to add for you, which is going to be, this is actually a page right now that I have to update. It looks to not have brought over my video, but we do have a walkthrough of the Snap theme. I may have put it on a different page, but what we're telling you here is that these big sweeping changes that you see to 4.0 are only going to be reflected in Boost and Boost based themes. So that's going to be Boost, Classic, and if you were on Fordson, that goes away and Learner becomes the theme. The Snap theme will not have significant UX changes. The Classic theme is still available and supported for all of our clients. There it is. Down there is my book about the themes. So when I come to hit me with the new stuff, it's a lesson here. And a couple of things you'll notice about lesson. I have my menu off to the side, and that is collapsible. For me, I have the edit lesson page and great essays button. But for you, you are just going to come in. I'm looking at this in preview mode and jump right in. And you're going to learn about the changes in turn editing on the blocks drawer, changes to the HTML block, which is now called the text block, site level navigation, like what happened to the site level nav drawer, and changes to the admin tree. When you go through here, you're going to see some different walkthrough videos. We try to give you like a little description, and we either do images or video. And basically, what we're talking about here is your edit button is now static in the header. So it does not move, it doesn't go away. You don't have to scroll to the top to find it. And we toggle on and off now for editing. Previously, you may have had one of three setups for your edit button. If you were using Fordson, you may have had an on and off button up here at the top in the header. In Boost, you may have had a button over here in the upper right-hand corner of the course that said turn editing on, or a cog that you clicked and then you chose to turn editing on from that cog. But now editing for everyone who is using Snap or, sorry, who's using Boost or Classic or Boost-based themes is up here with this toggle button to turn your editing on and off. You will know when your editing is turned on because you have, when you hover over anything in the course, you're going to get your crosshair because you could move things around. And you'll also have the option to add the activity or resource. Other things that you're going to cover this week, like I mentioned, are that you're going to talk about how you don't have that site level nav drawer anymore, the blocks drawer, and a couple changes to the site admin tree. Nothing really really big there. It's more about the consistency. So you're going to start to see consistency in filters and filtering come through that we didn't always have before. Those consistencies will carry over inside activities as well, and we'll begin to look at all that and bring it all together as the week comes along. The H5P here, 4.0, a new user for all, a new experience for all. It should say all who are using Boost. This is an interactive book, an H5P interactive book. So you can have the experience of trying that out as well. We kind of give you some information in here and you can toggle through and go through the different pages. Many of them are going to begin with text and then have short video. Some of them will have text and then very short video that loops like we have here to show you things like how to open the block drawer. And then what's new in the dashboard, what's new in calendar and adding filtering events and all events. These are also going to be short loop videos that have no sound. So when you come into them, we're just going to demonstrate how to navigate around and see different things. Moving forward, you will find out about what's new in your courses. And that's a bit of a preview for next week. Next week, we really dive into what's new at the course level. But this week, we're really focusing on that site level stuff. And you can already see we've got some forum posts in here about the text block. And I mentioned, I'm going to turn my editing on, that we used to have something called the HTML block, but it's now called the text block. When we add a block here in our block drawer, we actually, that option is right at the top. We no longer have to scroll to the bottom. But when we add a block, feel free to try these out. These are all the blocks installed on this particular site. But down here, we have the text block. This used to be called the HTML block. None of the function has changed, but the title changed because really we weren't coding HTML in here. We were putting text or images or things like that in. So the block has gotten a new name. We've seen some really creative uses of the text block over the years. Different things that people have done, especially during COVID, and people needed to be able to be taken to places where they could report COVID symptoms or get information. So we do have a forum this week, and that forum is how do you use the text block, or do you use it? And you'll find in here that people are using it for like navigation. They find it user friendly. John is talking here about how he uses it to put links to important places. So I've seen people do things like links to the bookstore or financial aid or advisement. And it could be an image that says like, advisement center. And when clicked, links students out to that area. So blocks are a good way to extend the function in your courses and on your site because you can add ways to navigate to different places, but in a way that we can put it in that block drawer. That block drawer can be collapsed now. People can access it if they want or need to. This book, Themes in 4.0, this is going to be specific to Snap and Classic. In here, we have a video that kind of shows the Snap theme. So if you are a Snap theme user, feel free to raise your hand. And if we are, I will walk us through quickly what Snap looks like. Should be a raise your hand button at the bottom if you'd want, or you can just tell me yes in the chat. Otherwise, we'll skip over looking at Snap right now. All right. Stenberg College. All right, Scott. Excellent. Let me grab us this video will pretty much show you, but I am going to walk you through what we see on Snap right now. There are lots of questions around it. Everyone, is wondering what happens, right? There are a lot of changes here. So let's take a look. Okay. Just logging in really quickly now. Really quickly is a relative term. My computer had a Chrome update and everything is as slow could possibly be at this point. Let me just close out of a few things here. All right, hopefully that loads here. But basically what you're gonna see is what you'll see in this video, which is a complete walkthrough of what Snap looks like, right from when you log in to getting into the courses. And here we go. So let me move this one in place here. Here we are. So here we are on my Snap site, and this is exactly what my Snap site looked like before I put it on 4.0. This one is an internal site where we are QAing the changes in 4.0 as they relate to Snap specifically, and then some of the different things that we do in terms of developing code for things like PLD and Conduit and other things that are specific to OpenLMS. So I'm not enrolled in any courses yet, but what you'll see here is we have all of the same features we've always had in Snap when we log in. My users are still landing exactly where they did before. I do have an assignment due, so I do still have like that timeline area here, which I've set up down here, and people can get in there. I see my due date. I see how many have been submitted. I see how many have been submitted because of my role in that particular course. And then I just have more information in here. My conduit area is all down at the bottom still as our private files, because that's what I have out here. So scrolling, I can scroll up to the top, or in Snap, I still have the jump to top button. I will not see that jump to top button in Boost or Classic anymore, and we'll talk later about why. Clicking on my courses is going to take me right over here to this My Courses dashboard area, where I could see the courses I was enrolled in. I have IntelliBoard on the site, so I can see these things. My deadlines. Deadlines is really just like that timeline block. It's going to show me any upcoming deadlines that I have. Feedback, messages, forum posts will all be here. If I have those installed, I can browse all courses right here. I can close this and come back out. I'm going to hop through my site admin menu, which also still looks the same and it's located in the same area. And I'm going to expand that. There we go. And come down to courses. And I'm going to manage courses and categories. This will also look very similar, except one of the things is that the theme didn't necessarily change, but the new features that are coming in 4.0 are definitely here. So one of those new features that we see throughout 4.0 in the site admin tree, in our activities, in our courses, are these drop-down menus to filter whatever page we're on. So in this case, I'm looking at courses and categories, but I can filter and only look at categories if I want to. And that will only show me the categories. Or I can look in course view. So if I pick courses, I'm going to get a secondary filtering option where I can pick the category that I want to look at. And then I will see a list of courses just for that category. So automation doesn't have courses, test does, and now I see just a list of courses. So this makes it much easier to find courses and navigate through your categories on the site. This feature is in all themes. So these are the types of things that will come in for everyone. I'm going to click into my OpenLMS for new instructors course here, and we are going to land here. So my course settings, basically the same. All the same options in here. My save and return, save and display are there. All of my other course settings in the Snap theme are off to the right. If I come into the course itself, there we go. Things look like they always have. I can change my cover image. I have my table of contents here that shows me my overall progress. I have all of my information here out on the page. In this case, I've got my objectives, what to expect in the course, and things like that. I will tell you that right now, and you'll see it in the video, the icons in the activity chooser are a little wonky, and some of them still need to be fixed, so they'll look the same. In production, when this hits your sites, your sandbox, and your production, those will not look like that. They will have their own unique icons. And you can see things like external tool, attendance, chat, SCORM, those are all set. But anything else, we will be updating. The icons will get an update, and you'll get to kind of see what those look like on the Academy site. But all of that is the same in here. I can search for something. I can still star things and have them show up in a starred tab. As an admin, on the admin side, I can actually recommend certain activities, so they show up in a recommended tab. So those features are the same. You are going to, as we talk about individual features that come in. So I mentioned that timed assignment, that comes right in as well. So those things, those features are not theme dependent. So you'll see all of that all the way through. But this is what things look like right now in Snap and 4.0. So not a lot of changes there. So if you are a school who's running Snap, you will probably have the least impact in terms of uh, changes of navigation for your learners or your faculty. For those of you using Booster Classic, you will have more of a change there. But if you want to show anyone this video, this is the one for Snap, and we will have the one for Classic in a little bit later today. I have to be able to switch this site over to Classic and make sure no one's working in it at the time. So that's basically what we have for this week. We really tried to dive into what are the site level changes, the things that kind of affect everyone globally. Other things that you're going to notice next week, we're going to get into course level changes. And then we will get into activity level changes. We might move that around a little bit. We are going to have like our favorite tips and tricks down in the last week of the course, where we talk about some of our favorite, maybe lesser known features on the sites, and some tips and tricks that we have for using our sites and using Moodle in general. So watch out for those things. So that's what I have for you. Are there any questions that I can answer for you so far? And we're not a very big group, so if you want to unmute to ask questions, please feel free to do so, or you can type them in the chat. And if you don't have questions, then I want to thank you for coming and let you know that you can hop off. We won't introduce any more new content on this webinar, but I will hang out and answer questions for you if you do have them. All right. Well, looks like people are hopping off. Well, thank you for being here. If you do have any questions, pop them in the raise your hand forum. We are happy to answer those for you. You can also message us here on the site too. Thanks, Emily. I'm so good to see. Thank you.
Amy, this is Heather at James Brown. I have a quick question.
Go ahead, Heather.
We use what we used to call sticky blocks for reference. Is that still something we will have available to us in 4.0?
Should be. I will dive in, but I don't believe that the setting for we call them sticky blocks also, it's actually a global block, but I don't believe that setting has been removed.
Okay, thank you.
And what that will do is, like, if you're in a course and you don't really have any blocks yet, you don't see the option for the block drawer on this view. You have to turn editing on. But because you have sticky blocks, no matter what, you should always see this nav drawer, this block drawer there, because you'll have blocks that populate.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Amy, I actually had a quick question too.
Yeah.
So we are using the Snap theme, and we're relieved that not a lot of huge changes are coming in December, but we are also very interested in the course index and some of the other 4.0 features. I was just curious, is there any insight from OpenLMS if that in the future release might be added to Snap, or is there the thinking that it's just more of a core Moodle theme type functionality?
Yeah, I think that we're in the gathering feedback stage on that one. I think we needed to be able to see how Course Index really functioned and then find out what clients thought about it and whether or not that was something they wanted to see brought into Snap. We're definitely getting the feedback that people really would like the Course Index brought in part because while you have the table of contents, you navigate through it a little bit differently. But the piece that people seem to really like is that activity completion updates in the Course Index. So like if I hover over webinar recordings, I can see that I haven't completed that yet.
Yep.
And when I do, I get a green dot next to it. So if I've left the class and come in, I can see where I left off. So the feedback, so basically we're gathering feedback. Every time we get feedback like that, where people are asking, is this going to be included? We add it to, we have a newer internal process for gathering feedback and making sure that it makes it to the various product teams. So that's just a piece that I include in there. And then it heads over to our EDU product team for them to review as they look at what the SNAP development roadmap looks like.
Okay, no, that makes sense. Thank you. That's helpful. We'll stay tuned for updates on that one.
Please do.
Yep.
All right. Awesome. All right. Any other questions? All right. Well, I hope you all have a wonderful week and a great weekend. And hopefully I'll see you back here next week for week 2. Let us know if you have any questions in the meantime. Bye, everyone.